school. Right, there you go.
Just seen Russell Brand share it.
Listen, I want to say a shout out first of all to the lovely Claire Wills.
Oh, yeah.
Because she did the introduction and she spoke very highly of you.
It's wonderful to know that people do, you know. She is brilliant. She's been a real help to me, to be honest, with that legal brain of hers, you know.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
And she was just saying wonderful things about you. And she was like, you know, she's a really good egg. You need to get in touch with her. I was like, all right, give me her number. Boom.
Love it, and you did.
Yeah.
You followed through.
I don't faff around.
No, you don't faff around. I don't like faffers.
But listen, you've travelled a long way today. Where did you come from?
South Yorkshire.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a long way away.
It is a bit.
How much was the train ticket?
Gosh, what did I do? I don't do this whole return thing. I try to break my ticket down to get it as cheap as possible.
Yeah,
but it was probably, I think it was about 50 quid coming down. I've booked
Just to come down?
Yeah. And then, you know, however much that tappy thing is.
Yeah, how much is
London, that? I don't know. I just asked if I could use the tap thing because I spent my cash.
But you're not rolling in it?
No. Not at all. I think there's, yeah.
Are you funded by anybody?
No.
You got sponsors?
No.
Wellness company?
No, see, this is the thing. Loads of people have said to me, oh, there's this company, if you do this, you know, they can, you know, sponsor you and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But no, there's been sort of one person who's helped me, you know, if I've needed screens and things like that, when I've wanted to do something big, who's been quite supportive in that way, but just someone completely independent. But usually if I do a fundraiser, because I don't work in a team, it's just me.
It's just you.
And then
you're a lone wolf.
Yeah, and then I have the on the day team, which is amazing, like all the volunteers and marshals, but I'm very much a lone wolf, and people think it's because I'm a control freak. It's not. It's just lessons learned over time, I think. So
how do you fund yourself? Have you got another job?
The buy me a coffee at the moment is what I have going.
All right,
so
listen,
if I do need
from me to you.
Oh wow.
That's for your train tickets. You don't need to look
Oh,
at that.
thank you. Oh, it's a card as well.
Yeah, well, it's from me and my listeners, because my listeners support me.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not rolling in it, but you know what? I think it's about passing it forward.
Thank you.
I really think it's important to do that. And you know what? Who knows? This podcast, maybe someone will subscribe to my podcast, but I just want to say thanks, because I know you're doing this on your own, and it's not easy.
No, and I think this is what I've tried to press as well for a while, is that the self-sacrifice, I think, with a lot of activists, I mean, even doing what you do, we know that back in the early days, say 2020, 21, it wasn't easy to be a dissenting voice. We were trailblazing. There was hundreds of people, you know, not thousands of people, that were speaking out across the UK, and obviously that built, and we created this safer space for other people to speak out. So anyone that started speaking later, some of the doctors and scientists, I'm truly grateful for them all. Don't get me wrong. I love, you know, people like Andrew Bridgen. I appreciate his voice when he had it in Parliament. But we made that space safer for people to dissent. And I've seen how dark it was in 2020. You know, I was arrested and had some really dark times, and it wasn't that pleasant in London. And I know how dark it will be if we don't push back and if I don't fight. And I'd rather have nothing material and continue this fight to make sure that we don't end up in that place than, you know, go off and be able to afford holidays in the Maldives.
Me too. I've changed so much. My whole mindset in the last 5 years has changed from, you know, having a big house and a big fancy car and lovely holidays abroad and blah blah blah, to I don't actually care about any of these material things anymore. I've realised that this is a spiritual plane and black battle, and
I think if you've had that, you know, because I used to work in Mayfair, so it was my stomping ground. I used to manage like 12 buildings, like the concierge and reception in Mayfair. I've worked for British Airways, so I travelled and I've been to some amazing places. I mean, I was never really like rolling in it massively, but you know, I didn't. If I went out and spent 150 quid on lunch, it wasn't a massive deal back then. But things massively changed, you know, and I don't think about that. There's no desire for me.
There's no desire in that in me either.
Yeah, I just want my look. I don't
want to go out. I used to go out eating out in nice fancy restaurants. And
people try and impress me.
I don't want to, because it's one, a waste of money and I don't have that. But two, I just like being at home with my family and kids and fire up the barbecue. And,
I see. I don't have kids.
I've changed.
But that's what it does to you, though. I think when you, like you said, it's spiritual warfare. Yeah, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter right now. You know what you believe, what God you pray to. who you are, this particular issue with digital ID, it's coming for everyone. It doesn't matter. I mean, I was born and raised Catholic, you know, and then I was an altar server 4 days a week. So I used to love the Catholic Church. And to be fair, the nuns were good to us at Tyburn Convent in the early days. You know, we used to pop in and have food with the nuns there, you know, at Tyburn. But
in organised religion, like the vast majority are actually really good, nice people. I think the leadership is very good.
Yes, well, of course. I mean, I think that, you know, organised religion is a tool of control for, you know, look at the unrest. You can kind of mostly trace it back to religion.
Have you ever heard of a guy called Mark Passio?
Someone's asked me that the other day.
Oh, he does great stuff about that. And there's a great video about fake-ass Christians. I love it.
What's a fake-ass Christian then?
Oh, that's the 3-hour
right
lecture you need to watch.
I've met many different people. To be honest, I think there's this is not all of them, but some of the born again I find to be the most kind of...
It's not even that.
What's the word?
It's a lot of people who think that they're worshipping, you know, Jesus and God through Christianity or Islam or Judaism, and actually couldn't be further from the truth.
I'll tell you, look though, dog, I've got my rosary bead. For some reason, the nuns gave me this one, right? And I don't know what at the moment is making me feel some kind of comfort, but they gave me this in 2020, shortly after I was arrested the first time and went back again. And I'm wearing it for some reason. I'm getting some kind of comfort out of it.
I'm wondering when I'm going to get arrested.
Okay, well, come on Saturday.
I'm coming.
You are listening to the Doc Malik podcast. This show is 100% independent and fully funded by listeners like yourself. So if you wish to support Ahmed in all that he is doing, then please subscribe to his channel on Spotify or his Substack. Or simply buy him a coffee with a one-off donation, links to which can be found at docmalik.com. Now, let's get on with the show.
Yeah, well, anyway, welcome to Doc Malik Studio. Listen, Fiona, can I ask you something? So you're telling me you don't need to tell the police that you're organising a rally or a protest or a march?
Yeah, that's where things have changed over the last 6 years, I think. So in the early days in 2020, when I started organising protests, obviously there was not the rules put upon us with the legislation like there is now. So there's been amendments to the Public Order Act 1986. Sections 12 and 14 specifically give the police powers now to add conditions and sanctions and restrictions on your protest. Now, it's gotten worse over time. And the last rally I did was I think the last big one was September of 2023. And that was shortly after these amendments had passed. And the Police Crimes Sentencing and Courts Act 2022. And it takes the police a while to learn how to implement and enforce something, right? So that they were still kind of wobbling back then and they didn't know. So I've never, police permission, for example, is not a thing. It's not something that, you know, organisers are expected to do. You don't go and ask the police.
Exactly.
But because I'm, you know, naturally rebellious, I just did what I did. I didn't give routes to the police. I didn't speak to the police to ask for anything. I know my rights. So I know that I've got a right to, you know, to protest. And I know the bylaws in Trafalgar Square, for example, public land at the top of the steps. But now with the new rules,
and can you march through the streets and block traffic and everything?
The only laws we were having back then, obviously 2020, they were restricting protests because of the COVID, you know, spreading COVID. So you could
BLM marches are okay.
Oh, they were fine. But you couldn't gather in a group of more than 2, 6 or 30 back then. So that's what I was being arrested for and charged with and convicted of. So those gatherings under the public health regulations. But going forward, like now, so no, we would just go out and protest. We'd keep a procession moving. You know, I didn't sort of sit down in the road like Just Stop Oil did and glue myself. In my opinion, they were used to bring about these new laws.
Absolutely, yeah. I think so. I think they're all paid agitators.
100%. Well, where are they now?
Yeah, where are they?
Sorry, no climate problem anymore. Well, not that there ever was one, but so
you just need to look at the way the police are treating the protesters, Palestinian, you know, protesters. like they're awful the way they're treating them, you know, arresting doctors, old people, just for wearing a freaking t-shirt or whatever, like harassing them. But it's not just in the UK, Germany, France, America. It's like so-called Western democratic countries.
Yeah.
And the hypocrisy.
They use other protests as an example, or like, you know, to try and add more restrictions. I think it's Shabama Mahmood who's now just said, we're going to give the police even more powers. So they've already had like essentially 2 new policing bills over the last few years that have given them more powers to control, restrict, add conditions to. And under those new rules, you are obliged, apparently, to serve the police with 6 days notice if you intend to march, unless you march spontaneously. So that's how we've gotten around it. You know, it's because if we've ever gone out, like I was out on the 9th of March this year, and, you know, the police kept trying to speak to me all day, and I just kept saying, go away, go away. And it was like cat and mouse for the whole day. They said, you need to tell me where you're going. I said, no, I don't. Like, what? Tell me what law I need to, that, you know, I'm just walking down the road. There's loads of footage. You can see Rebel News covered it that day. But now, so you apparently have to give police notice, 6 days notice. And a few years ago, I must say, I was quite frustrated because another activist, gave my details to the police, my phone number. And
not cool.
No, but the police have had my phone on many occasions as well. So it's like they know who I am. I was on a watch list in 2020 when I was arrested under the Terrorism Act, had my house raided. So it's been really hard.
Your house was raided?
Yeah. They took all my notebooks, all my research I had 7 full notebooks of research from 2020. And I think they thought, I don't know, we were a threat then, weren't we? We were like terrorists. They thought that we were like groomers as well. Anti-vaxxers were likened to groomers and the Taliban. So some of the statements they made about what we were doing, they made us seem like we were sort of personified evil, when actually that's what they are.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the inversion, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's been a challenge because I'm such a rebel. Like I don't want to I've never gone to the council for permission. So you should, and you always should have gone to, whether it be Westminster, if you're around Trafalgar Square, or Parliament Square, written to the council and said, oh, listen, I'm going to do this and I'm going to have this sound. Is this okay? I'm not doing that because there was no law in place to say that I needed to do that. But now it's much harsher. Thank you, Just Stop Oil. And what they've done to the Palestinian
fake ass protest movements.
They only
Honestly,
existed.
This is what I'm trying to say. Fake ass protest movement. It does 2 things. It makes any kind of protest for the average person go, oh, for God's sake, what are these clowns up to? And 2, it allows then draconian police powers to come in. I mean, we're living in a police state. And the way you've described all these bills that have been introduced, or legislation, it's all bullshit. It's not law. Well, they make it law. It's legislation. It's very different from law. But it's the same thing with the digital ID. I mean, 1 year after another, they've been bringing in pieces of legislation that have been building the digital prison. And like Claire says, the prison's already here. Digital ID is here, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, going back to the laws again, the only thing that I was risking outside of lockdown, so after 22, was blocking a highway and maybe a public order offence. And I was arrested a few times. But that I was willing to risk those sort of summary offences, you know, and, you know, I've got quite a record at the moment. I'm not fazed by it. It doesn't bother me. I'm not going to try and get a normal job. And, you know, I can't work with children apparently because I'm such a dangerous criminal. But now the penalties for it, they're so harsh. Like you could get 2, 5, 7, 10 years in prison for causing serious disruption.
Are you kidding me?
No.
So let's just talk about that. So, you know, for a lot of people, they'll be like, oh my God, I don't want to get arrested. You've been arrested a few times. Now, the fear is in the unknown. What is it like when you get arrested? What happens and what's the outcome?
This is where it's been varied over time. And this is one of the reasons I stopped drinking, because I stopped drinking 3 years ago. I was very angry at the government, and I was going down to number 10 Downing Street, handcuffing myself to the gates and getting myself arrested for a public order offence. But equally, because I'd organised some of the biggest marches, and I continued even after I was arrested in 2020, in May of 2020, and then under the Terrorism Act in September of 2020. And those two experiences weren't the worst. But then when I paint bombed number 10 with red paint's still there, by the way. Brilliant. That wasn't pleasant. I was strip searched unlawfully, twice actually, at Charing Cross police station, and beaten by the police in a cell.
Beaten?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Like with what?
Exactly. And
with like batons or?
no, like with them, with a male sergeant stood in the doorway halfway through the strip search that I was resisting. He said, he was leaning like this in the doorway, and he said, "That's enough now," to his colleagues. And allegedly, I mean, I got the paperwork in the disclosure because I was charged with an offence, public order offence. That's why I was arrested, obviously. And they do this to scare you. It's not a pleasant experience. And the longest I was kept in it was almost 3 days. And during that time, again, they humiliate you. They don't want you to give you water. I had people bringing me food because I've got autoimmune thyroiditis. So I don't know if you've ever been no, you haven't been arrested yet. So you get these horrible meals that they don't even keep in the fridge. They store them in like a cupboard in a room for like, and they've got like a 3-year use by date on it. So they're worse than airline food, right? With all these chemicals and stuff in it. So sometimes I have friends sort of bring me food, but the experiences did get worse and worse with the police because I felt like they were trying to scare me because I wasn't stopping. So I was being arrested and convicted, and it doesn't bother me. It
wouldn't bother me.
No, and because I know that I'm doing the right thing, and I know that they're trying to demonize me, and they did that with all of us. But it's very easy for people on the outside to say things like, "They can't arrest us all." You won't hear that from somebody who's been arrested multiple times, has suffered in custody, as I have. There was one occasion where I think it might have been Charing Cross again, where I refused the temperature check, a gun on the head. And I just kept saying, "No, you don't need to do that. No, it's, it doesn't need to happen." And 3 of them, including the sergeant on the other side of the desk, pulled me over, slammed my head down on the desk and checked me with that gun thing. And yeah, it's been really hard. And then obviously,
why'd you say they can't arrest you? I mean, but that's true though. They can't arrest all of us.
No, but you wouldn't hear that from someone who's been through what I've been through. And there's not many people. I mean, Piers Corbyn's been arrested quite a lot, and he thinks, "Oh, it's great because I get a decent night's sleep." And I don't know.
Do you get a decent night's sleep?
No, it's horrific in custody. It's horrific. It's a horrific experience. Not just because I have, I like to smoke, not cigarettes, but I've got that sort of nicotine craving, so that makes it more difficult. But it's horrific. Horrible lighting, the way that they treat you. They constantly checking on you, like banging, and you get like a plastic mat. They've left me once naked for about 8 hours. I've been incommunicado on more than one occasion for no reason. And yeah, they've arrested me on warrants that didn't exist. And I think my last arrest was 2022, if I remember correctly. But when I say that people make that comment, they say it's not people that have been through it, because some people have a bigger target on their back than others if they're seen as someone who's an organizer who brings people together. Like I'm quite ruthless with it. If they're going to arrest me again, I might potentially deal with it differently myself. I don't drink anymore, so I'll be a lot calmer and just more level-headed in general. But it wouldn't lead to the same consequences for somebody else who's never been arrested before. So if I'm arrested under the new public order legislation and for breaching conditions, the consequence for me could be much worse than for somebody else, because I have a history of public order offences.
They want to make an example of you.
They would. And, they did it. Look at Alex Belfield, There's people that have been...
How long has he been put away for? I can't remember.
He's out on license now. So he got 5 years, and I believe he got 5 year and 2 month sentence, and anything up to 5 years, you generally serve half the time. But they gave him 5 years and 2 months, but he's been let out on good behavior. But on license, he was back online. He was doing shows again. But now they've put more restrictions on him, that he's had to get rid of anything that he can possibly connect to the internet in his house. So he's heavily restricted. I think he's taking it to court, but he's still served almost 3 years.
Wow. What did he do that got him into prison? I'm not 100% sure.
He sent emails. He sent emails to the likes of Jeremy Vine, and Jeremy Vine took the stand and said he feared for his life because Alex Belfield was harassing him. It was literally emails and relentless social media, like podcasts and coverage and talking about this, from 2020. So literally just emails.
I read somewhere that in the UK, we've arrested more people for social media posts than any other country in the world, including like China.
They say
it's freaking insane.
Yeah, they say it's about 1,200, but I'm convinced that it's more.
I thought it's 12,000.
12,000. Sorry, yeah, 12,000. But arrests, I don't know, because I know that there's been, people get arrested and they get, charges get dropped against them. If people have backing, for example, from like Free Speech Union.
Well, I don't trust them.
Thank you very much.
It's funny. It's funny who they back.
100%.
If you're pro-Zionist, great. If you're critical of Zionism,
if I go out and pull a stunt, and I get in bed with, not literally, but get in bed with the people that I have had approach me in the past, this is another reason I tend to work alone, because I cannot be corrupted or swayed or made to do anything that I don't think.
What do you mean by this? Without naming names, if you're not comfortable with that.
Certain groups and individuals and organizations who have tried to stop me from saying certain things in order to get into their network.
Stop saying what?
Anything that's too conspiracy.
Like
COVID doesn't exist. Or stop working with certain people who are seen to be, for example, like Kate Shimarani. I worked with Kate very, very early on. You probably know about her current situation with her daughter.
Yeah, she's a good egg.
She is a good egg. And I mentioned her once in a speech saying that me and Kate did this, this rally. And Kate was the MC and I organized it. And everyone thought that Kate organized it at the time. And then I was told off afterwards and said, you can't mention Kate's name. You can't say anything like that. Otherwise,
it's very subtle, isn't it? The way they control you.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah. But they try. And I think because I'm not going to kiss any rings, GB News.
Don't trust them.
Where's GB News?
So that's Paul Marshall, Legatum, the Arc. I mean, that's nasty money there. They say a lot of good things, but that doesn't mean they're good.
No. Again, if anything, if it plays into their agenda, for example, they'll push Unite the Kingdom, Tommy Robinson, Zionism. They'll push that. They'll promote it. They'll live stream. They'll make sure that everybody knows that it's going on. They even promoted the Great British National Strike, which wasn't even a strike. It was a gathering. And they said, they put this guy on. And I thought, this guy's come from nowhere. Like, he's got no background. He's got no social media footprint personally. We didn't know who he was. How has he suddenly got on GB News? And then GB News is out there covering London when about 200 people turned up. And GB News has said thousands gathered across the UK. So it was probably about 2,000 people across the whole of the country. It was very small gatherings. Now, I look at things and I think it's quite suspicious when someone explodes from nowhere overnight and is immediately platformed on GB News, when I've never been platformed. But they've covered my work. Like the NHS 100K rally that was dubbed NHS 100K, I organised that. Not with a team, not with NHS 100K. I organised it and gave them a platform. GB News covered a story online around about the 5th or 11th of January, at like a week or two before the actual rally itself, where the Independent had come out with this massive hit piece and it said, anti-vaxxer revealed. behind mass non-compliance protests. They were like anti-vaxxer who says she's willing to die for her cause. That was obviously me. There's a picture of me being arrested on the front page of The Independent. I didn't even see it for about a week. But GB News picked that up. We're talking about the rally happening. And then 2 days after it happened, they know they've covered the piece of me being revealed as the organizer of this massive protest. And it was huge. It was hundreds of thousands of people. It was amazing. But they didn't invite me on 2 days later to talk about the protest. You know, they invited someone else that was slightly more palatable.
Because you know what the problem is? The problem is you're not controlled. You're not captured. The problem is they don't know what you're going to say.
No.
They need people that they know are going to be sticking to the talking points, stay within the lane, and not come at. So it's funny, I had Graham Moore of the English Constitution Party sitting there where you are. Oh, no, actually, sorry, not sitting. He was meant to be, but the camera was there, so I was talking to him. It was online. He couldn't make it. He's actually involved in a court case, so that's why. And after speaking to him, I don't believe in the entity Great Britain, United Kingdom. I think there should be separate Scotland, England, Wales. England has got a great constitution, and this bastardized entity called United Kingdom, it serves into these globalist hands.
100%. Well, it's a colonial hangover. I just think
this whole City of London construct's bullshit. It just should be England. Anyway,
so I mean, last thing though, I did actually text Bev Turner because I spoke to, you know, she used to come to a few of the protests back in the day in 2020. You know, she had that experience on GMTV or whatever, Good Morning Britain program it was. And she was really strong and she was amazing. And I texted her about this mass non-compliance demonstration this weekend. And I was quite, you know, I joked a little bit, you know, with her because I was like, you know, am I obviously not GB News material? Am I because I don't kiss enough rings to get to, you know, but then I look at who they do platform and I think, you know, I'm really pleased that the issue is being spoken about in the mainstream. I'm very pleased that there are headlines everywhere about digital ID. But like Claire would have said to you, people aren't saying the right thing. They're not talking about, they're getting to the Labour Together or the Tony Blair Institute and thinking, well, that's where it ends with Tony Blair's been trying to do this since 2004. No. You think that he's the head of the snake, or it's strange. But this is what frustrates me. You get influencers and people and social commentators that are platformed by GB News who are putting out false information.
So what is the truth? If it's not, so if it's not the brick card, I mean, Claire's gone through it already, but in case people missed the Claire episode, and Claire does herself a disservice. She goes, I'm just ranty. Fiona will do a much better job of explaining, and Ian Davis will do it.
She said that, but I can be, oh my God, honestly, I mince my words when I want to swear because rants, I mean, I can do them.
You can swear it's here, it's fine.
Okay. I'll try. I'll try to be good. But the plan itself, obviously, we know that this is why I have a page, like say, on my website called...
Listen, you need to tell them about the website, and I'm going to screen share it. Just read out the name of the page so I can find it again.
So if you go onto the architects, we're going to do the resist guide in a minute, but
because you built this brilliant website, what's it called again?
massnoncompliance.com.
That's it.
So really easy. I couldn't believe a couple of months ago the domain name was actually available because I'd actually announced the mass non-compliance demonstration at the beginning of August, because I'd seen it being drip fed, you know, and I thought, right, this is the time, something's going to happen. And people are like, oh, how did she know? How did she know? It's like the brick card proposal was written and released in June 2025. So what do you mean? When they start being so brazen with things,
it's already done.
It's done. And it's this plan. So to build on the United Nations, for example, I think people hopefully will know that they're this fake humanitarian front for the globalists. And you've got the world leaders who gather together and allegedly represent the peoples of the world. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't feel represented by anybody at the United Nations, and certainly not, you know.
No, absolutely not. Well, I mean, there's no one in the United Nations that is democratically accountable to anyone.
No.
It's not accountable to anybody.
No.
It's a complete globalist bullshit, you know, corporate venture.
Yeah, exactly. But they're this kind of humanitarian moral cover for the globalists and the NGOs behind them. And I think this is where what I've done with this website at the moment, with the architects, I'm trying not to go too far too soon. Because the point with this website is people like you and me, we know what's going on. There might be little things that are thrown at us, but we know what the destination is. The journey might change and the stops might vary, but we know the destination. So ultimately, we're never really blindsided, right, by anything. We're not shocked anymore when Keir Starmer makes an announcement saying, you will have a mandatory digital ID. That's not shocking. That's kind of laughable. I was almost celebrating.
It was laughable. But did you also see the way he placed his hands in the upside down?
Yeah.
What the frack is that all about? Like, every single motherfracker does that. Justin Trudeau, Boris Johnson, Trump. They're indicating to their masters. So you know how you said the facade, right? So government is a facade, front facing to the public. Say, oh, we care about you, and we're here because of you. You put us here, and we're serving you. When actually they're just a front for the corporations. But the corporations are a front for the bankers, and the bankers are a front for something else. I mean, there's layers and layers and layers of the deceit and the lies. But the government is there to just pacify us that, you know what, we're doing this for your sake. When it's the corporations. And it's the same like with doctors. The doctors are there. We think we can trust them. They care about us. Actually, they're just doing the bidding of Big Pharma.
No, exactly. That's exactly their salespeople. That's it. I mean, I could go into, like, I'm on medication that I don't want to be on, that I can't ever withdraw completely from, because I'm so reliant on a synthyroid now. I never should have gone on it. But, we live and we learn and we do our best. But there is layers, like you said, and I have tried with this to unwrap a few of those onion layers.
Not too much to scare the people off.
Yes, because we know, we listen to people who speak about this, who talk about the shadowy organizations and the societies, whatever they may be. But we're trying to reach people who don't know, who aren't aware, who may be sitting on the fence, knowing something is not quite right, but need to be pushed off. And that's what I'm trying to do with this website. And some would say, actually, I've gone quite hard in some spaces on this website. But I've got a list of organizations that I intended to cover prior to the demonstration on Saturday. And that does talk about the Fabian Society, Vanguard, BlackRock, and the Rockefeller Foundation. But I've stuck to deep diving into Labour Together, Tony Blair Institute, United Nations, and World Economic Forum.
You don't like wolves in sheep's clothing?
Yeah.
You don't like them?
Do I like them?
You don't like wolves in sheep's clothing?
No, I mean, it's, again...
I mean, if you're going to pick any kind of symbol to represent your associate, like, what kind of twisted fucking...
Yeah, and a turtle. Because their turtle is, they've got their coat of arms, which is the wolf in sheep's clothing, and the turtle is like, I don't know what they would call it, emblem or something. But anyway, because it's slowly permeates, and that's what they intend to do with basically
slowly.
Everything. Yeah. So they permeate.
Infiltrate slowly.
Yeah.
Subvert.
Yeah.
And it's like, another one that I love is Mossad. By deception we shall wage war. I mean, what kind of noble?
It's so brazen. It's so brazen. I just think, we sat there like, do people not know what's going? It's so frustrating, because you do just want to rip all the layers off and just shake people and say, but we know that doesn't work. I mean, there's still people screaming.
Some people are lost forever. You know that, yeah.
Yeah. But
I've got to the point now where I'm not trying to save everybody. Like, it's not going to happen. I mean, there's some people that are so far gone. I mean, there's a guy sitting in my house not so long ago. He was like, I trust the government. Politicians are honest.
Why did you have this man in your house?
Because he's the dad of my, daughter's friend, and he's a nice guy, and he had a problem, and he thought he might have a groin hernia, and I said, come over, and his wife is a friend of mine. She's totally awake. And it was a real eye-opener, because I thought, they're married. I thought maybe not as far as his friend, his wife, but I was shocked. I was actually fucking just shocked. Like, how can you be like, what is going on here? Like,
Yeah.
it's just too much. But he said he trusts politicians, that they're honest, well-intentioned, hardworking, that democracy works, that the COVID measures were correct, that, you know, maybe some mistakes were made, but don't worry, the inquiry will find out and rectify. I mean, it was just too fucking much.
This is what blows my mind, that people try to say still mistakes were made. It's the cognitive dissonance. They can't possibly believe that for their entire lives they have been lied to and indoctrinated. Like, we've all been through the same system, basically, that has tried to do the same to us. There's a reason that we're here. There's a reason that we do what we do and speak out. And I try and expand my knowledge all the time. And then I find that my brain becomes so full. It's like, it's so full that I can't even form a sentence to say that what I want to say. And
But
that's
Fiona,
when I know
I know, but Fiona, sorry, you were going to say, and that's when you know what?
well, okay, no, I don't know.
But I was going to say, like, but you know that exactly what you just said. For a lot of people who are soft and not resilient enough, you're destroying their worldview. It's like taking that little 3-year-old kid who believes in Santa Claus and saying Santa's not real.
Yeah.
And it's all horrible and it's cold and there's all these demons walking around. They're going to be like, no, Santa's real. Like, they don't want to believe. They don't want. It's too painful.
Yeah.
When you tell them their whole worldview, all of history is bullshit and a lie. The government hates you and wants to fucking kill you.
Yeah.
That the education system is designed to propagandize you and make you into a good little obedient citizen. And the news is constantly lying. The television is again warping your brain and dumbing you down. Your doctor's not there to help you, but actually make you sick and just make you a lifelong customer. When it goes on and on and it's too much. It's like, holy fuck shit.
Yeah, because what can they believe in?
Super insightful consultation, and Doc M came into it with an incredible amount of information and support. I really felt he was there to help, that he cared, and that he genuinely wants the best for you. Can't recommend him enough. Thanks again, Doc. From Dave. And folks, if you want to see 40 other reviews, 5-star reviews, just visit my website, docmalik.com, and you can look at in the menu consultations or go directly to the booking page, docmalik.setmore.com. Book a consultation with me. If you're unsure about how to move forward with a diagnosis, with a treatment plan, or you feel like you're stuck in a rut, you don't trust your doctor, you've had surgeries and pills and you've got side effects, whatever it might be, I can help you. I can act as your advocate. I can help you work the system to your benefit, knowing what questions to ask and to explore options that the mainstream doctors might not have covered with you. Folks, if this resonates with you, please book a consultation with me, and I can't wait to help you. Back to the show.
I feel like they you know, someone
it's too much for them.
Yeah, people talk to me about flat Earth globe. Okay, I don't care. And people get very frustrated that I don't, it doesn't matter at this point because
Same with
children,
me.
yeah, I'm open-minded about everything. But for me, that's not what I need to base my entire reality on. Like, for some people, they say if we just admitted it was flat, then everything would correct itself. And
it's the same with no virus. And it's like, exactly. Guys, it's not like that right now. I'm so sorry. And I get so much flack for this. Numbnuts, you still don't believe in flat Earth. I'm like we got fucking bigger problems right now.
Yeah, I want to learn and know everything, but I'm only one person, and I am trying to save humanity, right? Naively, probably, but I know that I'm doing the right thing. However, I am not the same person I was 6 years ago. 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, I would try and cry myself to sleep because I felt like I hadn't done enough in reaching people, for example, to try and stop them taking the toxic injectable. I tried for hours and hours and hours every day, multiple days per week, multiple, for however long it went on, well over a year at mass vaccination centers. And I don't have that same, something shifted in me because I still have the empathy and I still want to save humanity. But I want to save the good ones because there are so many hateful people. And I have run a campaign for nearly 3 years now. Well, 3 years since I announced it. October of 22, I announced Truth Be Told. It was to give a voice to the injured and bereaved. from the COVID jabs. And the flack that I got from the freedom movement for giving a platform to people who they had perceived were sleepwalking us into tyranny, right? We're in the same situation now. But I did that because I know that they want us in our little boxes so they can douse us in petrol and kick it over and say, you know, someone else lit the match. They want us divided. So if I can pull people back together, jabbed and unjabbed, which I believe I did with Truth Be Told, while getting the facts out there and also having to convince someone who's trusted the government and trusted their doctor that their government tried to kill them. That journey, like you and I wouldn't understand that journey, being injured, perhaps losing a limb or being permanently disabled and knowing that it was because your government actually kind of did it on purpose. That can't be an easy thing for someone who's injured to accept. And we've stayed together, most of the injured and bereaved that I've worked with, but some of them never deserved my help in the first place.
Really?
Yeah. And if I could turn back the clock now, there is probably 4 of them that I never, ever, ever would have platformed or let myself be abused by. I was getting phone calls until the early hours of the morning, being screamed at down the phone, being told that I refuse to work with someone that doesn't believe in long COVID. I said, fine, go and work with someone else. But no, you won't, because the platform that I'm offering you, no one else will offer you. So I have massive regrets.
You know, the thing is, listening to you, we can blame all the bad people at the top, but the reality is we've created this. Humanity has created this. We have lowered our consciousness, you know. People talk about Christ conscious. We don't have any of that. That's all about living with the natural laws, with integrity, with morals. I'm not talking about organized religion. Those are shallow people, fake, phony people who go to the mosque on a Friday, the synagogue on a Saturday, you know, church on a Sunday, pretend to be a good person in their heart. But then the actual daily conduct, so far from what it actually means to be good. And through our complicitness, you know, because we just consent to everything, because we don't care about our fellow man and women, because we abdicate our power to authority, and because like we are chasing false idols. Money's a false idol.
But you do what I do. You're saying we now, because you see us, humanity, as a collective.
Yeah.
And so, but you don't do those things.
No.
And neither do I.
Yes.
But we see us as humanity, as a collective. And those people that are doing the things that you've just listed, they don't.
They don't.
They see themselves as, that's it, just my life, my job, my 9 to 5, my glass of wine, my pint of beer, my pack of cigarettes, my Saturday evening, you know,
Bingo.
It's all of, that's what they see. And that is.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not collectivist. I'm not a communist. I don't believe in the greater good. But what I'm talking about is seeing humanity as a whole and us being part of it. And we're one big living organism. And how we all conduct ourselves will actually affect everybody else. And the reality is, you can be the best person in the world, but you know what? If you're surrounded by all these people, they create that environment for you. That is the world that we live in. And the reality is, too many people are conducting themselves in selfish and not enlightened ways.
And I think worse than ever, because of the amount of boosters, people are more robotic. They're more short-tempered. People don't want to talk to each other anymore. That's not how I sort of grew up. I turned 40 in July.
I turned 50 in July.
You look good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You do not look it. No, genuinely.
People say that all the time.
I think you look younger in person.
Thanks.
Yeah.
People
I don't know
keep
what the
saying that
camera
as well.
does, but yeah, you look good, mate. You look good. Now, I'll have it back.
You look amazing.
Thank you very much. I just, you know,
I was
so tired. I'd like to sleep.
I'm admiring the mane of your hair.
Oh, I mean, it's growing. I've had it chopped, and it was down past my arse when I started this, and I used to get it stuck in the back of my trousers. And yeah, then I got it cut. I didn't have it cut for like 3 years. And it got so long, like during COVID, everything shut, didn't it? And then I just got it chopped right up to here.
It's coming on the camera. It's very shiny and everything.
Good.
And it is like that. It's very
good.
Yeah. There you go. Is that enough compliments?
So, yeah, thank you. I can continue now. So people, right, that think about themselves. I used to want to save everybody. I used to think that everybody was capable of the same kind of attitude and change, because we've all gone through this process. Like, people say, well, what woke you up? When did you wake up? Like, I get quizzed by people that think they're more awake than me. And I'm like, well, I've always called out Zionism. Sorry, I was posting about that in 2007. Like, what were you doing?
Yeah.
Where we all go through different stages of realizing, but my mother was my mother, and she was amazing, and she is amazing. And if it wasn't for her, I probably would be one of those indoctrinated, careless, selfish, still drinking my wine, still smoking 20 a day. I mean, I'd be, that's it. The only thing that matters is
she's
my
still
life.
alive?
Yeah, she's here.
What's her name?
Christine.
Shout out to Christine.
Yeah, my mum's brilliant. She's taught me well, and she's pretty scary.
What did she used to tell you?
Well, she got kicked out quite young, right? And she went to live on a farm in a caravan. And the guy's name was George Willis, and he was South Wales, one of the toughest farmers. He had guns. Police would leave him, they wouldn't go near him, because he was a tough kind of, I think he had butchers' shops as well across South Wales. But she used to break his horses. And I think he realised that she was quite strong. So then she started, and she could fight. So then she started getting paid to fight. And she'd have a fight with a couple of men every weekend, get paid a tenner, and floor a billy goat.
Oh, wow.
So my mum's, that's
she's
I don't
scary.
know what picture that paints of my mum, but she's very like, she didn't grow up that, people think they hear me, right, and they see me and they think I don't look like an activist, I don't sound like an activist, and I was born with a silver spoon, and I'm like, even though I've got a potty mouth, apparently, that people still have this perception of me. I don't know what an activist is meant to look like. But my mum worked her ass off from nothing, from living in a caravan on a farm breaking horses to, my dad used to take her out for dinner on their, their little dates back in the day. I think she got married when she was about 19. And he used to say, if you keep coming out with black eyes, I'm not going to take you out anymore. And so she stopped fighting, obviously, but she worked so hard to provide for me, my sisters. She was a foster carer later in life. My mum's an amazing woman, but she worked so hard. And when I was growing up, we didn't just get anything that we wanted. I wasn't spoiled, or anything like that. And we moved a lot, but
same.
Yeah. And I think that did me, I could move anywhere now. I can go anywhere.
Same. I hated it as a kid, but now I look back and think it was good training.
It was really, really good training. But if it weren't for my mother, she used to watch Al Jazeera and RT, and, she was very critical. She's Irish. So, she was very critical of the Crown. And
God bless the Irish.
Yeah.
Because they know it's in their DNA. They've been persecuted and colonized and enslaved, literally, and, genocided,
Yeah.
All that potato famine was bullshit.
Basically what happened there is, on a different scale, in a different sort of detail, is what's going on in Palestine. And it is Palestine. Palestine, as a country, sorry to even go down this route, is older than England. So when people talk about why we have a right to occupy and hand over somebody else's land, and this is the colonial hangover, right? This empire building. I'm not proud of some of our history, but I'm not going to take the knee.
No, but it wasn't English people. It wasn't Scottish people. It's the British.
Yes.
It's a very different distinction.
Mm-hmm. But I'm a weird kind of, I've got lots of different opinions, but I think at this point in time, we need to put all this stuff aside and see the humanity in each other, and put politics and discard the labels, just get rid of them. It doesn't matter. I'm not really political. I don't vote. So
I don't vote either.
I know it's not democratic.
It's not. And even the idea of parties, political parties, is bullshit, and whipping people. The parliamentarian should be representing their constituency. They don't do that.
Oh.
Anyway, listen, time is limited. We need to go on this digital ID business.
Oh, yeah, okay, right.
So on your website, you talk about steps that people can take to stop this and fight against the tyranny. Let's go through that wonderful list of yours.
Do you know what I realised I should have done?
What?
It's just put in big block capital letters at the top, just do not comply. Do not comply. I've done this whole list, right? And it's been built over time. I've taken advice, from different people suggesting different things. And it's really basic stuff, so you turn off your Face ID, stop using biometrics.
Just go through the list.
Am I literally going through the list?
It's brilliant. It's fucking brilliant.
I'm going to read it out.
Yeah, do it.
Right, so go to masternoncompliance.com and to the Resist Guide page, because that's literally all that's on this page, is the Resist Guide. So we've got personal tech and behavior, so things you can do from today, which is turn off Face ID and fingerprint unlock on your phone. I don't have it. Don't know if you do. Delete or refuse to install government apps. So if you've got them, delete them now.
I don't have any.
Delete or refuse to install NHS apps. Stop using that one. Obviously linked to, the vaccine passports back in the day. I don't know why anyone would have it.
But I can get my blood results. Oh, for fuck's sake.
And this is...
Bit of convenience.
Convenience is what safety and convenience is how they sell it. On the back of fear.
Yeah.
Right? Every time. And that's
every
exactly what they've done.
Time.
Every
single time.
So stop using biometric check-ins at shops and airports when possible, because we know what they've just done in Europe. There's the problem, right? Now you have to fingerprint if you travel anywhere in Europe. So I understand people need to travel for work and whatnot, but you need to do anything that you can. Refuse self-scan at checkouts. Use cash for as many purchases as you can. Keep and use a physical wallet with cash on hand and draw out small amounts of cash regularly and spend them. So even if you take out £10 a day, keep doing it and keep spending using prepaid cash cards if you can get them. I love this though. Have you got an old 3310 or an old burner phone?
No.
I got one. I've always had one, but I made sure I had one back in 2020. And
I need to get it.
When they raided my house, they never found it. It was on my table in my bedroom underneath a big pile of snacks. My little burner phone was sat there. So get one of those old phones.
So what are they called? A3 what? Sorry.
Nokia. Well, 3310 is one of them.
Okay.
That's the one I've got. But what are they actually called?
Oh yeah,
I always call them
Nokia.
burner.
Yeah, Nokia 33.
They don't no internet connection and stuff. They got Snake, so you can play Snake.
Yeah.
All right. Although that might be seen as something. So yeah, prepaid SIM, burner phone, avoid logging with social sign-ins, Google, Facebook, Apple, where possible. Now, this is where people don't realize sometimes, when you sign into a different app, like you might go in and sign in to Just Eat or Uber Eats or something, and it says sign in with Google or sign in with Facebook or sign in. That's an example there of the interoperability of what's going to happen with digital ID. So all of these different systems and servers and public and private, software companies will be figuring out how they can talk to each other and work with each other. So we should kind of try and disconnect everything that we've got. And I think that's quite a big one is the Google sign in. Try and get rid of Google. Don't have things on the cloud. Try and just pull your life back into reality.
I don't have anything in the cloud. I don't sign into Google.
I got hard drives the other day, a few months ago. I got, I think my mother bought them for me actually, because, I don't have that much money and they're quite expensive, but I got a hard drive for my laptop and one for my phone to pull off,
Yeah.
Because I love to print photos and all that kind of stuff.
And what's really, really shocking as well is like the number of people that I communicate with, like, oh, and they're freedom fighters. And then I say, give me your email address. And it's a fucking Gmail address.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Well,
what? And then also like the number of people who have like payments on their phone, like Google Pay or Apple Pay. For fuck's sake, don't do that. And by the way, just another reminder, folks, please don't subscribe to my Substack via Apple Pay, the Apple store, because they literally take 50%. So,
do they?
Yeah. So I had this guy, quite wealthy, sign up for £6 a month. And I said to him, dude, I was hoping for an annual membership at least, or a founding member. He went, oh, I don't know how to do it. Really? And then £6 a month.
They're going to be watching.
I don't care. I said, dude, this £6 a month. I actually only get £3 a month. £3 a month. Because you did it for your app store. Just go to my website. I get the link. He went, I don't know how to do that. So I just unsubscribed. It's actually I don't want...
Oh, I kind of feel sorry for him.
£3 a month going to the enemy.
Yeah.
I'd rather not have the £3. If you're going to give half of it away to the enemy. I mean, it's like, but when people say to me, like, honestly, I'll show the screenshots later. It's on my phone. Like, oh, how do you do it? And you know what? I actually said, like, don't read the name out, but look, I actually said, do you know what? Where there's a will, there's a way. And then they said, am I a Luddite? I was like, no comment. But I mean, this is what I mean by people's apathy. I read that. See that? It's like, so folks, if you're listening, please don't sign up for Apple Store because you're giving half of the money to them. You know?
Do you know, I've only just, what's it called? Yoti?
No.
Yoti?
Never heard of
it. Right. Right, so it's all, like I say, it's all these interoperable servers that are going to speak to each other in order to roll out digital ID. And it's going to take me ages to go through each and every one of these.
Keep going. I mean, just go through it. Like, you're doing a great job.
Well, I think, right, so the idea of it is that people pick at least 3 of those, and every week they do something on repeat. And then they can go back and pick another 3.
By the way, I read your thing and I stopped my fingerprint thing.
Oh, good.
Thanks to you.
There we go. See, it makes a difference. They've conditioned us to use, the Face ID and the
I never had the face, so now I've switched off the fingerprint.
Yeah. So I think getting ourselves out of that habit and, opting out of these things, I think it just shows and demonstrates this kind of pushback.
I don't have a credit card. I don't have store cards.
I don't have credit.
I don't have store cards. I don't do any of that shit.
I
use cash as much as possible. I mean, I give you cash. I'm not giving this bank.
Well, business. I mean, so do I, but I've got little cash to draw out. But that's the problem. Yeah. But then, so the thing is as well with this list is I wouldn't myself necessarily do all of these things, but there's going to be very different people with very different ideas that are going to be looking at this list and hopefully taking away something from them, for themselves. It might spark an idea. We've just had the conversation about MPs and voting not being democratic and democracy being an illusion and all this. So would I sit there and write to my MP or any of them? Probably not. I mean, bearing in mind, I've been inside that building and I've been, worked alongside Andrew Bridgen for a while, and he did an amazing job for the Jab Engine and Bereaved, but at the end of the day, he lost his seat. So who's in there now? Nigel Farage. I don't understand.
You don't like Nigel Farage? You don't think Reform is going to come to save us?
No.
Oh my God, you're so unpatriotic. Reform are amazing.
I can't get on board with any of these. Like, sorry, even Ben Habib or just any of them. I don't even know the name of all of their parties. Reform, Revive. No, what was it? What is he? What's Ben?
Ben? Oh, I don't know.
Ben Habib?
Reclaim, Revive. I don't know.
Exactly. Reclaim?
I don't know.
I
don't care. No, I don't care. They're all the same.
They're all full of the...
So Tice is out there kissing the wall. Farage is recommending Tony Blair to be the vaccine czar and boosted up.
Tice was. We can't forget what these people did at the time for probably a paycheck at the end of the day. They probably did what they did and said what they said because they in some way benefited. Because who are you, right, you polyester suit wearing F, to tell people to go and take something that you know nothing about? Because I sit there and I listen to these people speak. There used to be debate in Parliament. Historically, I want to go back to the whole, like, the shouting thing. Like, just actually argue with each other. They're all stood there, like, reading from scripts. They submit their questions beforehand. They submit their speeches beforehand.
And they're all written by the civil servants.
And they're all written, yeah, exactly. And you just know that they don't know what they're talking about.
They're just actors.
They are actors.
It's actually pathetic. They're so fucking dumb.
Yes, there's things on this list that I would say personally no, but I want to give people the idea if you want to do it. But I'm not going to be drafting loads of templates for people. The one thing I'll say about this list is if there's something on there that you don't understand, a particular word, I've tried to define it where possible, and I have provided glossaries, but I'm trying to encourage people to take their knowledge into their own hands and take action themselves. Because even on our side, and the awake and some of the aware and some of the not so aware still want everything spoon-fed. They want to sit there and watch a 20-minute podcast on something, and they want to know it. That's it. They just want, well, tell me in 20 minutes. Just tell, no.
And not just that. They want to listen to that 20-minute podcast, and then they want someone else to do it for them.
Yeah.
Like, they won't even leave a 5-star review. Forget about subscribing and paying £5 a month, £6 a month. They won't even leave a review. They just want to listen and then get back to their life.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what Claire was talking about. Claire was like, everybody, you need to step up and you need to make a sacrifice in your life.
Yeah.
Some shape or form. If you think you can fight this tyranny from the comfort of your house and your living room and not have to lift a little finger, ain't nothing going to change. And it's like Dear Danny was here as well. He was saying the same thing. He was like, if I do a ranty post on Instagram, I get like hundreds of likes. The moment I do a post about how you all need to do your inner work and have to raise yourself up, like no one's interested.
Yeah. I mean, but this is the thing. I think you've got to do both, right? This inner work that Danny talks about, I've seen some of his videos and I think, yeah, it's absolutely right. But Bill Gates ain't going to do his inner work. We're not going to get everyone on the planet on the same page. That's my point.
We can't work with the billionaires.
Right. So we all have a responsibility, but we have a responsibility to be proactive. I do believe that. And if people don't like the fact that I believe in me, I have a moral obligation to fight back, to do as much as I possibly can. Hence why I've created this website. Nothing's behind a paywall. Everything will be provided. Everything is already there for nothing. If people choose to donate to me, and whilst I host this website and pay for it, then it's so much appreciated. But the information is there for people to read. I don't need to spoon feed you. I've provided the documents, the translations, the glossaries. Everything is there for people. And
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and I will add more and more. But again, I'm one person. I'm studying law full time. So it's quite exhausting. And I've got a legal case against my landlord ongoing. So I am super busy, but I know I need to be doing it. But people need to be accountable for their own knowledge and be proactive, because anything that breeds passivity, and this is why, I don't know why, see, I said to you I was wearing the rosary beads earlier. It's just given me some comfort at the moment, because I felt that times were getting a bit darker. I was born and raised Catholic. I've got Archangel Michael and my dad around my neck in my locket. So for some reason, I feel more protected, when I've got these things. But anything that breeds passivity, and a lot of faith does, people will sit back because it's what's happening now, whether it's end times or not. But people are talking about the fact that we're in Revelation, yeah? And digital ID is the mark of the beast. So if you believe that to be the case, people see it in two ways. Sit back and just don't download, don't sign up for it.
Yeah.
But other people believe that, no, you have to go out and inform others, and that means being proactive. So anything that breeds passivity, I'm not on board with it. Well, no one's coming to save us.
Well, look at this then. So this is Romans 13, right? From the Bible. I think the telling thing is it's called Romans. Rome wanted a religion to control the masses because everyone was uprising. So it was convenient to take this, this early thing that was Christianity or whatever Christ's teachings were, and to manufacture religion. If you look at Romans 13, submission to governing authorities. Let everyone be subject to the governing authorities. For there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. So my government's been established by God? Fuck off. Consequently, whoever rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted. And those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. For rulers hold no terror for those who do right, but for those who do wrong. Yeah, they're good.
You read that a few times.
Yeah. Do you want to be free from fear of the one in authority? Then do what is right and you will be commended. For the one in authority is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for the rulers do not bear the sword for no reason. They are God's servants, agents of wrath to bring punishment on the wrongdoer. Therefore, it is necessary to submit to the authorities, not only because of possible punishment, but also as a matter of conscience.
Oh, they really try and scare the shit out of you.
This is also why you pay taxes, for the authorities are God's servants who give their full time to governing. Give to everyone what you owe them. If you owe taxes, pay taxes. If revenue, then revenue. If respect, then respect. If honor, then honor. Are you fucking kidding me? You're talking about, like, seriously, right. and as a Muslim growing up, right, in my fucking Muslim cult, every single time it was like, we live in this country, you need to respect the Queen, the government, you need to follow everything they tell you.
The Queen and now the King believe, what's the word? Omnipotent? As like, they genuinely think that they were picked by God to be there. Like, nah, you're kind of inbred and you've been just breeding with each other for a very, very long time.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, even in Islam, it teaches you to obey authority and not question your rulers.
Yeah.
And read that.
And women are ever so slightly subservient, I think, across pretty much all Abrahamic or monotheistic religions. Come on, so we can't have that, because
the problem is religion has created a slave mindset.
Yeah.
We all have a slave mindset.
Yeah.
Which is
that's
why
what they want you controlled and placid and malleable and just, dumbed down by all the poison that they, whether it be spraying, injecting, eating, whatever you consume, drinking. And again, that's me not drinking is because I've reframed in my mind. I've reframed how it is.
Don't take their poison. What do you think? How do you think they defeated the Native Americans in America?
Yeah, exactly.
They gave them the alcohol.
Yeah, exactly.
Look what they did to them.
But this, anyway, look, we live in a pretty despicable world, to be honest. I'm not, like I say, in the same position. So I've provided this. I'm going to keep reading because we don't have that long left.
Yeah, go.
No, I won't. People can go and look at it for themselves.
Yeah.
Right? This is what I want to do now. Empower and educate. Go and look at this yourself. Read the documents that are on there. Read the translations. Pick things from the Resist Guide that suit you and start doing them today.
Massnoncompliance.com. Guys, not difficult. Massnoncompliance.com.
And we absolutely will win. I've got absolute faith that we will, but it's going to take persistence and momentum. Sitting at home, just not downloading the like one login. I know you covered with Claire, right? It's already there. De facto digital ID is there. We've covered this. I think we're starting to establish this now. And this is the thing that other people aren't talking about. So the company directors, one login is how everything works. So the UK Gov wallet that's going to be rolled out, well, it's already there. They're trialing the veterans card at the moment. It's going to host a digital driver's license by the end of this year. And by the end of this year, it will have an ID on it that you can use to verify your age to buy beer, if you still buy beer. So the Gov UK wallet, though, requires a one login account. So everything, the infrastructure is already there. So when people say, oh, it's impossible, they can't do it, stop, get rid of that? And saying that mandatory isn't law, the legislation is coming. The Data Use and Access Act and the trust framework that's on the back of that, which actually they released after the act itself. So they said, oh, we're gonna set the rules later. We're gonna release the trust framework after we've got royal assent for this act. It's got its commencement order. So they have power. They've given themselves power through the Data Use and Access Act, and it's called delegated powers. I was chatting about this with Claire, and Henry VIII powers, which I can't believe in my first year of law studies, I never heard of it. They can change it, amend it, add to it, take away from it. Basically, at any time, under pretty much any circumstances, a minister, Secretary of State, can decide to change the rules and change legislation. Now, everyone says...
Without it going back to Parliament.
Without it going back to Parliament. That's what Henry VIII's powers is, basically, because, he didn't like Parliament and he just wanted all the power.
And do they do it quite a lot?
A lot more than I think people realise. And this is where Claire went and looked back in history to see how many times that they've done this. And they brought in, if you remember, the Public Health Act was what they used as primary legislation to bring about the Coronavirus Act, which was a statutory instrument or secondary legislation. So they brought that about under something that already existed. And
so why did they do the primary and the secondary? What does it explain?
Well, exactly. They can. The secondary legislation is something like an amendment they bring in, or a second act that kind of backs up or adds to that primary legislation. So sometimes it's an amendment, like they've introduced amendments.
It's like an addendum or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's like an addendum. But a statutory instrument, again, is a secondary legislation that they can bring in to change the rules, but they don't even really need to do that this time round. And I think they've given themselves like absolute power, basically. And to think that they might not roll this out, to think that, just not downloading an app is going to save you. Sorry. That's not going to work.
So again, but if everybody just says no, and no one uses it, it all falls apart.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it's human nature that everybody's going to be like, I don't want to be the first one to go. They're going to come and get me. So I'm just going to stay quiet.
Don't know if you have Buy Me a Coffee. Do you have Buy Me a Coffee?
Yeah.
Right. Stripe. Did you get the notification from Stripe?
Not yet.
Right. So not everybody has. So Stripe is sending out. Now, we probably did this when we first set up Stripe. We probably verified our address. I can't remember uploading a passport photo, but it was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So 3 years ago, 2022. So I probably already verified myself in some way.
You have to, yeah.
Right?
You can't just, yeah.
Right. But now they're using the biometrics. So now Stripe is asking its customers to upload a passport again, which by the way, they can do now at any time. So they can send you a request and say, you need to provide this for whatever reason you might have been flagged. So you upload your passport, confirm your address, tick a few boxes, and then it makes you take a selfie. And the AI says whether you are that person that you've uploaded. That's what their Stripe are doing now.
Are you kidding?
No. So you will soon get an email, but if you use Buy Me a Coffee, I've gone through this the other day and I was panicking because I've got Buy Me a Coffee. I'm like, that's my only way to, when I need to raise funds, it's the only way to do it. But Buy Me a Coffee, if you've already set it up, you've got Stripe Express, which Buy Me a Coffee would have done for you. So that will already be working. So don't upload your ID or do the biometric thing. Just don't do it, because you don't need to do it for your Buy Me a Coffee. Now, I think people are getting scared because they're getting requests. Companies House are already doing it. Don't be scared with the Companies House thing. That won't be necessary. You won't need to fight against it until you're filing your confirmation statement. So it's from now for new directors, but it's for when your confirmation statement is due for other directors. Now, I've got 2 companies. They've not done anything. I just tried to get some semblance of normalcy back after I lost everything, BC before COVID. And so they've just sat there and they'll go. I don't want to keep them. Let them have it. I'm not going to fight it, but it will be a good experiment because I'm not fussed. And my confirmation statement is due like now. So I should be getting a notification soon about the digital verification. So I will use myself as a test case to go through this process, not comply with it. There's a template on the website, by the way, under the Fact Vault. Just have a look through all of the pages. It's wonderful, right? I'm very proud of the work that I've done, and I really want people to use it as their hub for information about digital ID and also where it's come from, World Economic Forum, UN, SDGs. My stomach's rumbling. I hope you can't hear that.
It's all right.
Like I need a flapjack or something. But trying to eat healthy, but it's so hard. I lost my flow. Oh yeah, so people are going to start getting these notifications and emails and that things they think that they've got to do immediately right away. But just don't react out of fear. Pause, because they can't force you to do it. No one can force anyone to do anything. I know that at the end of the day, coercion, fear, loss of business, there's options to become a sole trader. Be creative, but don't be scared. And if you are a company director and you do have a business, go to I think it's Fact Vault. And I talk about one login, and Mr. and Mrs. Wilson have provided us with a letter template for Companies House. So go there, download it, and send it off.
Done.
And inform yourselves. I think that's the like say one login is digital ID.
Okay.
It is.
Let's talk about Saturday.
Okay, yes. I forgot.
I'm coming on Saturday. I haven't done a protest march since the vaccine mandates business. In a few years now.
Yeah. That was wonderful. Do you know I went to Brussels?
Folks, as you know, I've got no sponsors for the show, so no one pays me money to place ads. I do have an affiliate page, a shop page. So if you visit my website, docmalik.com, you'll see there's a shop page, and you can look at Hunter Gather. They do great food. We've been using them for years before even I started the podcast, and there's a little code you can use there. And there's a lovely sauna company, Wellness Heracles, that has an affiliate code with me. They have brilliant saunas and cold plunges. I highly recommend you visit my page and have a look at that. And there'll be some other ones as well, like Sea Green supplements with iodine and micronutrients. Like I said, they don't sponsor me, but if you buy from them, I do get a little tiny percentage, and it will go a long way to supporting the show. Folks, I also want to say thanks to all of you who've been leaving reviews on Spotify, the 5-star reviews. I've seen that they've gone up. I can't thank you enough. And also on Apple Podcasts. And on that note, I just want to say thanks to Antonia Eastwood, who wrote the following comment. Entertaining and informative, 5 stars. I look forward to Doc Malik's podcast very much. He has a very good, easy to listen to style with informative, insightful, and interesting guests that will help you beat the system. I don't think there's been one episode where I haven't been entertained or informed. Thank you, Antonia. And thank you everyone else who's leaving reviews and sharing my content. It makes a difference. Okay, folks, back to the podcast. And thank you so much.
At the end of that rally, when we threw the uniforms over, which they didn't want to do, and I was like, don't worry, the people will throw your uniforms. They love throwing stuff over number 10. So because they were worried about being seen, right? Which I completely understood.
Do you not find that other organizations hijack your protest and try and claim it to be their own?
Yeah. Together Declaration have done it twice. Actually, sorry, not Together Declaration themselves. You know, there's a few good people in that, but can I say? It's infuriating. It's to have because I work alone and my amazing volunteers on the day, right? I build these websites, I do this work, I provide the information, people take my words, it's fine, right? And don't give credit. But when I've spent months organizing something and then somebody literally goes and sits on GB News or tells the Express or the Sun that they've organized your rally or protest, it's infuriating. It's not about ego, right? Until you've been in that position, because it's happened to me repeatedly. Like November 2021, Alan Miller said that he organized that. And then I obviously messaged him and said, what were you doing? You know you did. He said, oh, I just thought it'd be easier to say it to the newspaper. No. What are you talking about? Like,
it's easier to lie.
Yes.
It's easier to lie.
Right.
What the fuck?
And that's what I think. Obviously, there's something about me that they don't want to platform me and speak to me. That's fine. I don't expect, it's not that I expect accolades and medals for what I do, but for when other people, let's just be honest. The truth is the only thing that matters. I was out getting arrested and beaten by police and strip searched. I never bought this for a second. I didn't go and get jabbed. I never bought this for 1 second. I wasn't banging my pots and pans. And when people living through those first 2 years, nobody, right? Or the first year even, my stomach's going crazy, like me. But nobody will know what that was like and how dark that was. And trying to make yourself, when you've come out 2, 3, 4 years later, part of that time, that really frustrates me, because that was not easy. That wasn't just, it's nostalgic when you think about the marches and protests and stuff back then. It was, the unity like I've never seen before. But that was our pain.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm so glad that there's more people that are awake, right? But where's truth? Truth just seems to be like it's bastardized. It frustrates me because it's, and then I'm accused of having an ego because I'm getting annoyed that somebody else is grandstanding off the back of my work. Or, I've had another person who's involved with Together come to the front of my rally with the jab, injured and bereaved on the 9th of March. With somebody else who I actually respect, to be fair, because he's been there a long time. Take a 5-minute clip, get filmed at the front of my rally, and I'm there like, I've got to tolerate that. I didn't ask you for help. I don't want you here. They were mocking the injured and bereaved, mocking our chants, but they got their 5 minutes of footage, and then he went and made a video and said, you keep campaigns like this going. You can help me keep this going by donating to my Buy Me a Effing Coffee. And I saw it on Twitter and I went, that first time, that's it now. I've had enough. I want people to be there to support.
You are kidding.
No, and I'm expected to just sort of shut my mouth and go along with it. But people are profiteering off the back of work that I've done and my team have done. My team work really hard on the day. It's not easy. They have to wear embarrassing coloured hoodies. Like they and hold a banner. Do you know how hard it is to hold a banner up for hours and hours and hours? Hard. It's and then to march at a certain pace and to listen to me shouting on a megaphone and giving them directions the whole day. It's not easy. They don't get that limelight. And I want to thank my amazing team. Honestly, they're brilliant.
God bless you.
Cheska, who's...
So when should I be there at Marble Arch?
1 p.m, Marble Arch. And I hope that we're so big that we spill outside of Marble Arch and into Hyde Park. And yeah, it's going to be good. I always have a little surprise. So not anything criminal, like nothing criminal. But I hope that the numbers are so big that we are a force. And I think that's what we need to demonstrate. And that's why we're doing it, because we need to demonstrate if we're not going to comply, let's be brave enough to stand up and show them that we won't. And this is why, again, I'm not begging MPs. I've said this in a video yesterday that I put on my Twitter, actually, at Covey Leaks. on Twitter that I'm not begging MPs, I'm not begging Keir Starmer. I know that they're not in charge. They're not the architects. They are following globalist diktat. They are thick as, I really want to swear.
Pig shit.
They're thick as compacted pig shit. And they're not really in charge. They're not making the policy. This is diktat from globalists, shadowy organizations behind them. We will unwrap those layers, and we need to inform people and educate people and have that passion again to go out. But I'm with you that, you know, that not everyone is going to wake up. But I tell you, some people, fine, leave behind. But there are billions awake now, thanks to our work and that of many good people all around the world. Because there was a few hundred of us.
I know.
Yeah. And I'm grateful for those people that have been going for over half a decade like I have. So we're at that time again. Like I said to you, didn't I? It feels like we're back in 2020.
Yeah, it does.
And this is how I know that we just have to push this back proactively with force.
We're going to do it.
Yeah. And this is the first step, in my opinion. It's a shame you have to wait until there's a headline, but at least people are getting off their asses now.
All right, listen. Last question of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You're on your deathbed, surrounded by your loved ones. Before you meet your maker, what words of wisdom and advice, or what are you going to say to them?
There's so much pressure. Never fucking give up. Ever. When you know something is right, like you know deep down in your heart that you're doing something that's right, no matter what anybody throws at you, no matter how much pain it's causing you, just keep fucking going.
Amazing. Love you. See you on Saturday.
You. Yay, woo.
You'll be back here again.
I hope so.
Definitely.
Thank you.
We'll have a much longer chat.
Oh, we have to.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Fiona. How was that?
Wonderful. I love your studio.
Oh, thanks.
I do.
I did
It's
that.
nice to work from home, yeah?
Yeah, well...
yeah?
I don't have a
You
choice.
got chickens?
I don't have a choice.
It's got chickens?
Yeah, I've got chickens.
And they sound cute.
I miss the operating theatre a little bit, but I'll be honest with you, I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bet. Well...
And if you look at pictures of me, like, it's on my Twitter, pinned picture, like, me from a few years ago, I was really sick.
I saw like a comparative.
Yeah. And I wasn't very healthy. I was very stressed out.
You are glowing.
Thanks.
But
you look great too.
Thank you. But that's it. I think when you know that you're doing the right thing. I mean, I'm so exhausted. Like I haven't slept a full night in a long time, right? And this is what happens around these protests, because there's a lot of planning that goes into it, probably more so than people even realise. So I started filming little videos. Over the last week, I've done a few videos like, right, now I'm just doing this, just to let people know what it's like to actually organise this. Yeah, especially when you do it on your own.
I don't think people understand how much work is done behind the scenes.
No. And it's really hard because there's certain things I did want to happen on Saturday, obviously. And, you know, I announced this at the beginning of August. I knew, like I said, the brick card came out in June, the brick card proposal, even though that's tosh, like, don't believe it, it's nonsense. It's not really a proposal, it's like a cover. But knowing that something was coming, and obviously when they came back in September, I was like, something's going to happen. And then I read about Company's House and thought, that's it, let's announce something. And I really wanted to do something quite explosive, and have that screen. But then I thought, look at what Tommy Robinson's just done. For one, I think he's ruined the name, like the word rally, in my opinion, because I used to use that all the time. It was protest and it was rally. So I'm not using that word anymore. But then when the government response to the petition came out a couple of weeks ago, you remember when they responded to it and said, we've got to, nearly 2.8 million signatures, but we're going to do it anyway. So it doesn't really matter what you say. Everyone's going to have a mandatory digital ID, blah, blah, blah. And people were angry. So I thought, we just need a real proper protest. Like, we need to go out and protest like we did back in there. Yeah, it will, because I think we need this is sustained resistance.
Can we take family and kids and all that?
Yeah, the best thing about what I do is that we have families. We had 100-year-old Ron that used to come out, so everybody can come. This is for humanity, and humanity should be there. And I think this is for the children, and the children should be there as well. with those who are fighting for them until they can fight for themselves. And if they come along now, they're going to be feisty when they grow up, aren't they?
Absolutely.
They should be.
Yeah.
But it's safe for children. It's, I put a lot into caring about the people that they're in safety, and I do think about that massively.
I think ultimately government is scared of us. And
100%.
if we're out in the streets, and it's not a manufactured one, it's not controlled opposition campaign.
Oh, do you know what winds me up?
It's a genuine, uncontrolled. You're organising it.
But how I've sat there and I have done a live on Facebook more than once, and I have even uploaded pictures of my criminal record, and I have said, like during a live, I cannot stand it when I get called certain things. The levels I've gone to risk the whole blocking a highway, to risk these arrests or anything under the Public Order Act, because I'm not playing along. I'm not asking permission of the council, because police permission isn't a thing. I'm not asking for permission of anybody. I pick my route and I go where I want to go, right? And I always have done. And if I'm static, that's why you see my screen at the top of Trafalgar Square, because there's a paving there about like however many meters wide and long. That patch there is public land. They cannot do anything about it. So I'd recommend anyone that wants to organise in Trafalgar Square, put your stage or your screen or whatever at the top of the steps, because they can't do anything when you're in situ. And that's how I've gotten away with it. Outside the BBC, just didn't park on the zebra crossing. I had a massive screen come in, and the police looks like, what's that? I said, oh, it's my sound, it's my equipment. It's like, you're joking? I was like, nah. And then he's like, I've got to go tell Gold Command. I'm like, go and tell Gold Command. What's Gold Command going to do? It's either 5,000 people or a big screen, right? And then he came back and he said, just don't park on the zebra crossing. I said, it's not on the zebra crossing, is it? Because I know, right? So once something is there, look, just fight the powers that be in every possible way. I'm not saying break the law, but it's getting harder and harder and harder. And I did do a video on that. It's getting much harder to not play the game. And people have no idea what you're risking, but...
We're risking everything. Yeah.
Well, I'm risking a prison sentence now, right? So this is where we're at. Now, safety, as I say to him, is number one, because we do always have family and children and, just all different ages. And I really want people to come together. This has got to be unifying, where we discard the labels, discard the politics. It doesn't matter how you vote. Digital ID doesn't care how you vote or who you pray to. This is about our actual future, our entire lives.
How many people do you think are going to turn up?
I really hope that listen, if we get over 50,000, I will be super, super happy. If we get 5,000, I'll be happy. I'm just proud of everyone that comes out and stands up and says, no, we're not taking this, because this is literally the thing that will control our entire lives for the rest of our lives if we don't push back. We've only got a maximum of a couple of years before it's rolled out to the point where you are getting credit scored on your behaviour and your expenditure and your carbon credits. And look back and see where the plan is coming from. There's a document on massnoncompliance.com, 2018 World Economic Forum. Have a look at it. It's where that little graph, that little circle thing, and it talks about what digital ID will be used for, not just people, but also things. So it's really important that people just get out and push back and show their faces.
It's going to happen. I'm going to be there. And
good.
I'm going to speak to the missus. And I'm going to try my best to bring the kids as well.
That'd be good.
We're going to be there.
That'll be awesome.
Right. I'm going to come out and give you a hug.
Oh,
everyone,
thanks.
I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you there.
I, Ahmed Malik, am a private civilian protected by the Geneva Convention. My Substack, social media posts and podcasts are my personal experiences, observations and opinions. This information is for educational purposes only. Although I am a doctor, I am not your doctor, and I am not providing medical or legal advice to you or to the wider public. I am not licensed or registered with the GMC or any other licensing board. The responsibility for the interpretation, due diligence and use of the information from my Substack and my podcast lies with you, the viewer and or listener. Please do your research and use your discernment. It is not my intention to harass, intimidate, offend, defame, conspire, blackmail, coerce, or cause anxiety, alarm, or distress to any man or woman, and the information presented here is done so with peaceful and honourable intentions. Enjoy, folks.